Just like that, the season is over, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to iThinkSports podcast with me, your host, Double D, and Buddy L's here.
Hello.
I would like to talk about the champs, Toronto Raptors, but even before they have a chance to celebrate the parade, even before all the fucking awards are handed of the regular season, we got ourselves some news about AD finally being a Laker, just like he wanted. And god damn it, man, we got to look in front of the next season already because this is the biggest news so far. Bigger than Raptors being a champs.
Is it bigger though? I don't know.
know. It's crazy. I mean, it's so bizarre that
Because it's the biggest trade since Kawhi last year. And Kawhi's trade led to this big thing, Raptors becoming a champion. So at least let's start with giving praise to Raptors because they were
fuck them.
a worthy opponent to Warriors. And rightfully the champions now. So congrats all Toronto fans.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the AD stuff next for sure. Maybe we'll touch a little bit on the draft, or maybe not. Maybe we'll just do it on another podcast at some point. Some point this week. I mean, draft is what, this Thursday?
Yep, 20th. So from Thursday to Friday, Lithuania.
Okay. So yeah, we'll figure something out as far as the draft goes. But yeah, I mean, man, last week, the last time we spoke, we expected that perhaps there's going to be a Game 7. Maybe we're going to watch it, maybe we won't, but right after everything's said and done, freshly after Game 7, we're going to have this podcast.
Oh, the feels. Nothing to watch, right?
And it feels like this has been like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, like 2 years. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's depressing. Season's over. And yeah, the Warriors are not even close of being champions. The Raptors were just a better team. So what do you say about the Raptors this season, man?
Well, just, you can't judge the champs. You can't really throw any rocks at them for Warriors getting injured. Although my opinion is that if KD stays healthy and plays healthy, still I predict an easy win for Warriors. Knowing what I know now, how the way the Raptors played, maybe the win is not as easy, but I still would predict Golden State to win it all. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, I guess it's inevitable, guys. I mean, we definitely don't want to trash the Raptors, but it's inevitable. I mean, that's what people said about the Warriors' first title. And that's what people really talked about the Cavaliers' first title. Well, the only title, really, in 2016. They talked about, the Warriors being a bit injured, being a bit tired, a bit rusty. So it's inevitable. That is definitely going to be a part of the narrative. And yes, I do believe, look, man, I believe that even with Clay, they could have won.
Yeah, me too. Although if Clay goes down and it's Game 7 and there's no Clay, no KD,
they're fucked.
You have to play McKinney and Jerebko out there. I don't know. Still, you have Boogie though. So any other team would love to have Steph and Boogie. Even Boogie at whatever percentage he's playing right now, people would love to have him.
What a weird finals, man, right? So many twists and turns.
Extremely weird.
Jesus, man. It's almost too much to gather.
And the blow, sure, you mentioned people talking about Warriors being banged up against the Cleveland, but it's not like anyone missed major role apart from Bogut, right?
Yeah, he broke his leg in Game 5. But I mean, Bogut, what equivalent Bogut would be for, I don't know, these Raptors, for example? Like losing Norman Powell or something?
Pirtle.
So, yeah, that wasn't, something major. But that really...
It's not like losing two of your three best players. No offense to Draymond.
I remember when I was watching that game, Bogut. I thought that they were for sure winning Game 5. The way they played, I was just chilling out there. I thought that this is inevitable, and then Bogut breaks his leg. I'm like, fuck it, man. We're still winning it, and then they lose, and then whatever. Draymond is coming back, and then they lose again, and then Game 7, it's at home. Who cares? And just like that, it happened.
When did Bogut leave for Cleveland? It was the season after that, right?
Yeah, 2017.
Okay.
And the first or second game he broke his leg?
Something like that.
Jesus, man.
50 seconds into.
And yet he's still playing.
And, right.
Australian League
he's in
MVP.
the finals and LeBron is not.
Yeah, nice story. So anyway,
so you have to be happy for Toronto because they fought really hard. They made this incredible run. Nick Nurse did an outstanding job.
Amazing.
And it's gonna be a bit cringy when Budenholzer is gonna accept this Coach of the Year award. And Nurse, is not even gonna be there, even though he outcoached him in the playoffs and probably outcoached Kerr too a bit.
I would definitely agree. I would say that he did.
Well, but Kerr wasn't, lost or anything like that.
Yeah, Budenholzer was really bad. He was just like,
No
we're just sticking to the same
and-
shit. Yeah.
And it was a bit surprising to me because I was rooting for him. Well, not rooting, but backing him to win the Coach of the Year award.
We didn't even discuss Nurse.
Who nobody really cares about.
Sure.
Giannis is probably winning the MVP, right? Nobody cares. Cause
right now it's just so old news.
Yeah. Literally, nobody cares about those awards anymore. What you gonna do? Just show up there? I don't know why NBA is doing this.
Man, we always circle back to this shit. But I guess it's when is it happening? Is it like this Sunday or Saturday?
I'm not watching.
I'm not watching either. I
Fuck
didn't
it.
watch the first two.
Yeah,
I just did not care at all.
I didn't watch the other two as well. I just will watch the results, say okay, and I will even forget who's winning Sixth Player of the Year or something like that.
Lou Williams. I kind of remember the guys, but yeah, it's just like, who cares by now? By now it's just so ridiculous. We're already planning the next season, literally planning the next season.
And teams are planning
especially
as
with
well.
the draft.
Teams are gathering assets right now.
Yeah.
Combining rosters and
So it's, I don't know. It's so crazy to do it.
imagine if AD was in contention for MVP and he was already traded by the time awards come.
It's stupid, man. Well, the same thing with Casey. Casey got fired after the playoffs. So
Yeah, and Coach of the Year without
if
a
that's
job.
not a good example of why this sucks so bad, I don't know what is.
But hey, NBA started televising the draft for the All-Star game. Maybe.
They have to be there has to be so much hate over this shit, and I just cannot imagine them not reacting to it.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they
will.
are very reactful. They really pay attention.
I'm-
That's what makes them probably the best league right now in the world.
I
most
think
watched.
the logical explanation would be it's on one of the networks, whatever, isn't it on ESPN?
TNT.
TNT.
Shaq is hosting it. The whole crew is out there.
So maybe NBA has some sort of contract, and TNT or whatever, just whoever just tried to squeeze this part in, that you have to host an annual show. Maybe when this runs out, they will get rid of it. I don't know, but there's definitely a lot of backlash from fans towards this thing. So maybe they will change it. And we don't care, and we still talk about it. And I even forgot what we were discussing first.
Well, we're talking about the Raptors, and who cares that they're the champs? Such an unlikely team to become champions.
That's exactly it, right? You start talking about Raptors, and then you don't even notice how you shift to something
Yeah, you
else.
immediately drift off.
They're just this bland team. But it was a historic run, and it would be fun. Sorry, Toronto fans, but it would be fun to see Kawhi go, because then you wouldn't have any precedent for it. And a player comes in a trade, like asking this disgruntled star,
That's so
comes
gangster.
for 1 year rental, wins it all, Finals MVP, historic run, and just leaves. And imagine if he wins with a third team, that would be insane. It would put Kawhi up there, for sure.
Hasn't that ever happened? Like the guy comes to a team, wins it, and left? Never happened?
I can't remember that.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, but still.
maybe it would be something similar to LeBron coming to Miami and then leaving after those finals
Yeah, but
runs.
they still lost, though.
They lost, yeah. So there's that. And it wasn't like, it was a different situation.
So with this now, Kawhi puts himself with the likes. I mean, most playoff points, right? Top 3 with
Top
Michael
3.
and LeBron. And now
In
another
one
top
run.
3 in one playoff run,
Yeah.
yeah. And now another top 3 is only 3 players in the history of the game have won two
Finals
titles
MVPs.
with 2 finals MVPs, with 2 different teams. And that is Kareem and LeBron, obviously, and now it's Kawhi. So Jesus Christ, he's putting himself right up there. He's kind of having a better case for a better career than KD. I mean, he goes to the Spurs as a rookie, right? They go to the finals.
I think so, yeah.
I don't remember how he ended up there. I think he was picked up by the Pacers or some shit.
Yeah, they traded him for George Hill. He was
fucked up.
15th pick though, so George
15th
Hill
pick.
was alright player back in the day. Pacers really loved him. Traded him for 15th pick.
Man,
And
that's
probably some other pieces still, just to make the salaries whatever.
And again, the
match.
Pacers did it just because they had Paul George. They thought this is not going to fit.
Yeah,
And that's pretty stupid, because now all you want is wing players like that. I mean, imagine Paul George and Kawhi. They would just be so suffocating. Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
But it's easy to talk now. Nobody thought Kawhi would turn out to be this monster. It's part of Spurs is doing as well, because he might
Yeah, he
not
wasn't a
have
shooter.
developed
Mm-hmm.
into the player that he is if he plays for Pacers.
But, I mean, how good are the Spurs? I'm sure, of course, we
Are
all
pretty
know
good.
that their system is pretty goddamn good. But he still has to be the guy. I mean, he still worked on it, and he had all the skills. It's not like he become an okay shooter. Like Giannis, if he would shoot, like, I don't know, what would be a good example? Like if Giannis shoot like
Brian Scalabrine.
Tony Parker or somebody like that, you would say, fuck yeah, this guy is, a killer. But Kawhi is shooting better than that.
I don't know. Tony Parker is a pretty poor shooter.
Well, he's just a mid-ranger more than anything. I'm just saying that, if he would develop the mid-range. But
Yeah, I
Kawhi is,
know.
goddamn it, he's lethal from 3. He's very consistent, very reliable.
It's just automatic, as I said to you.
Yeah.
Whenever he rises, it's automatic 2 or 3 points. Depends on where he's taking the shot from, and it's just ridiculous because this feel that it definitely is going in. Like you can count on a bucket from him. That's what makes him
You're never
similar
surprised when he
to
makes it.
Kobe and MJ. And he even shoots better percentage than Kobe for sure. And I'm not
MJ's tough,
even, yeah, maybe,
but Kobe, yeah, for sure.
But you always had this feel, right? That you're watching Kobe, like he raises up, it's probably points, it's probably bucket.
Yeah. Although it wasn't a lot of times.
Yeah.
But it seems like really at the bigger times, I mean, I guess every Kobe fan feels that way. They're notoriously known to be very defensible of him. But it always felt like it's not a bad shot. I mean, the guy is just, he's like Clay. He's got that perfect form. He fades away in the right direction where he's not going to get it blocked. He's not going to be bothered. Although there's multiple people guarding the guy, but he looks comfortable taking those shots. And it seems like when it mattered the most, he made them. I mean, he really did. There were a lot of awesome series where he stepped up big time, and obviously, when you play the percentage game, those are bad shots. Sometimes he looks like shit too. Like Game 7 in 2010 against the Celtics. That wasn't the best Kobe performance.
Wasn't.
Thank God
It
for
really wasn't.
Meta World Peace, goddammit. So yeah, I mean, Kawhi is just he goes to the league, goes to the finals pretty much immediately. Let's say he was a sophomore when they were in the finals. I don't really remember. Maybe he was a rookie, but they lose. The next year they come back, boom, he's finals MVP. They win the whole thing easily. After that, he pretty much becomes the poster child of the Spurs, the new one.
Well, yeah, like
Doesn't
the
accept
new,
that
new
moniker.
savior,
Yeah.
like taking the reins from the old trio. But I don't know. Some say that the first Finals MVP should have gone to Timmy, because Kawhi wasn't that good the first couple of games, if I remember correctly. It was like 12, 14 points, something like that. But
It really seemed like Danny Green is like legitimate contender of Finals MVP.
and the Boris Diaw. Boris Diaw was
Shit,
playing
man.
great.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned this, maybe it was a year before that Diaw could have really gotten it. No.
I don't know, but
What a weird team that was. Those 2 years that they had with the
such
Spurs.
a Spurs team that was.
Fuck. But it was so awesome to watch. Like, yeah, all of a sudden Diaw looks like one of the better players in this league.
But it's not like, it's robbery in the daylight that he won that first MVP.
No.
And what I'm trying to say is that this one is really deserved. As cool as it probably is for Fred VanVleet to receive that one vote from Hubie Brown. That's cool.
It's funny because it's just one vote.
But it's
it was a race.
It's definitely Kawhi's the MVP.
For sure. Kawhi's the man now. Kawhi is the genius, really. I mean, he went with his own gut feeling that he was misdiagnosed, which seems weird, right? At this day and age in NBA, who's misdiagnosing people? But he felt that way. He felt like he was mistreated. He essentially said, fuck you to the Spurs and
Fuck
to
'em.
Pop. Then they send him away. He goes here and he says, fine, I will do it my own way. Really, the Raptors did not interfere with Kawhi had in mind.
Kawhi was in a driver's seat there.
Yeah.
Because
They just wanted to keep him
exactly. If Raptors say a bad word or look differently at Kawhi, he just says fuck him and leaves again.
And
which
it paid
still
off.
might happen.
And it paid off. Kawhi, trusted himself. It paid off, and the Raptors trusting in him. It paid off to them as well. Masai Ujiri now also looks pretty good.
I heard now that Barack Obama is recruiting Ujiri to join the Wizards.
Seriously, he's a Wizards fan? I thought he was for the Bulls.
Yeah, he's a Bulls fan, but I think he might be living in
Sure.
Washington or
Sure.
whatever. I don't know why, but just saw the headline or not. So right now, if you have to predict, because you are kind of good at predicting, definitely
Yeah, we'll talk
better
about
than
that.
I am. Do you say Kawhi leaves or goes? Leaves or goes? Yeah. So yeah, I guess you know
Stays.
my prediction. You think he stays?
No. I don't
Really?
think so.
You think he leaves?
Yes.
Wow. Because I think that he will stay in Toronto. Probably, if I had to predict, I would say 1+1 contract with players option and just feel
It's a
it
good
out.
one.
Because it's a cool team, still have it in them, and it's Eastern Conference, which we don't really know how it's gonna look like. But I think he's the type of guy who wouldn't necessarily change things if he didn't feel they are broken. And he only left the Spurs because he thought that the bridge is burned there and it's broken, the situation, and there's no trust anymore, and he got to leave. And right now he's chilling. He's the fun guy. Did I
Yeah.
convince you?
Good, but I wanted to ask you because you're always much more savvy with the whole contract stuff and everything
Oh.
than I am, because I don't know
Nope.
shit. So I don't know if this makes sense or not. But I know that still, this one particular team has a place for one kind of a max player, right?
Golden State.
The Lakers.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
It is possible, right?
technically, yeah, but I didn't read too much into the whole trade thing now, because the timing. I read something that the timing is important, because if they trade on July 30th, is like a whole different thing than if they trade on July 6th, which is the fastest they can do it. And now the agreement is to trade on July 6th, which fucks up a bit of the salary cap for the Lakers, because AD has this trade kicker clause, 4 million whatever, so it's a complicated thing, and I didn't read too much into it yet, didn't have a chance, but yeah, there's a way that Lakers will have another max spot. So, but I don't see Kawhi going there. It would be so exciting.
But
to
why
see.
not? Just because of the competition, you mean?
Not the competition, but I don't know. Kawhi never struck me as a guy who's like the biggest LeBron fan. Actually, if I had to pick one of the better competitors in the NBA, I would probably say Kawhi, because he's not the type of guy to jump, on the wave with someone else. That's just how it looks to me. I don't know. Do you think he would be willing to play second or maybe third fiddle to AD and LeBron after being Finals MVP, after winning it all without them? It's just I don't know.
Maybe, but he's just wired. He's one of those dudes, like he's an enigma. You don't really know how he's wired out there. And I would see a world where he pretty much had the same thing with the Spurs. People like to the people that like to shit on him say that he was always under the spotlight of Timmy and
Manu
and Tommy, yeah, probably. And he did not want to be the guy, once Timmy retired. And now it's all of a sudden, all these other guys are older and it's up to Kawhi to be the leader. I don't really buy that narrative, but I don't think that he would necessarily mind to be, in someone's shadow necessarily. It's not like he would be in the shadow. He would be the man right now out there. Yes, it's LeBron's team, but fuck, man.
I don't know. If Kawhi joins, it would be, as I said, it would be so exciting to see that team, how it would work. In theory, they would suffocate everyone defensively with LeBron. If he tries...
Yeah, Mr. Defensive Player of the Year.
No, but LeBron is a good defender if he tries. So it just,
Just a big, strong body, can rebound, can
and
box out.
He's really smart.
And he's smart. Reads game like Draymond reads, maybe even better.
So, LeBron, Kawhi, and AD to guard
Jesus,
the
what do you
paint.
do with that?
So,
but
Alex
even if it's
Caruso
not the Lakers,
and Mo Wagner.
Yeah, after that is just a dumpster fire. But even if it's not the Lakers, what about the Clippers? Clippers have a sexy team. I would love for Kawhi to actually go to the Clippers, because I would really root for the Clippers then. They have a fun team, man. What we saw them against the Warriors, it was really something to watch.
I don't know.
If he goes to New York?
If he goes to the Spurs, imagine the team, DeRozan, Kawhi. No, if I'm Kawhi, I'm not leaving.
He's gonna give DeRozan a ring now.
I would stay in Toronto. The whole country loves you. Everyone's behind you. You just won it all. So you can cruise once again through the regular season, play those 60 games. That's it. Nobody's gonna blame you, because they will see it work the first time around.
Guess so.
You reach the playoffs, you cruise to the second round. Whoever you meet there, you can beat them. You have the experience now. You have the continuity. You have one more year improved Pascal Siakam. How old is Van Vliet? Like 45 or something?
Hmm. I don't know.
He's still like not 32, right? He's still kind of young.
I thought he's like 23 or something.
Right?
Am I completely out of here?
My guess would be 26.
27. 25.
Ah, okay. So he's relatively young still.
But what about Marcus Gasol? What about Serge? Do you think they
Serge
can do
is
this
still-
any longer?
How old is Serge? Look it up.
Pull that shit up.
He's like 28, 29.
Oh, 29, yeah.
Yeah, so he's not.
Hmm.
He just feels old, right? He looks like he's been in the league forever.
For some reasons, they're just not utilizing that much.
But
I guess he's lost his athleticism a little bit, but I mean,
but
really,
he's
what do
still
you mean
good.
by that? When I say that, I say that to myself. What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
The guy blocks the shot like he
Yeah,
used to,
6 shots, 2 gold hands.
rebounds and dunks and everything, and he makes shots. Yeah,
And
yeah, Ibaka's
Gasol
good.
might be 38, but he's still got a year in him left. I
Well,
think
yeah,
he's
these guys become
35.
injury. I mean, they're injury targets. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's a fun team. They can still run it back somehow, some way, and they proved it. They proved it last year that Kawhi can sit out 20 games, no problem. They will win. What was the record like? 17-3 and some shit. I mean, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, cause you have those hungry guys.
And yes, as you said, Siakam will get better next year. After all this experience now, all the confidence
Imagine
in the
the
world.
confidence that he has now in himself. By the way, Kawhi and Siakam was the second most scoring duo in NBA history in a playoff run. Imagine beating MJ and Scottie Pippen.
That's crazy.
So it was just LeBron and Wade, like 40 something points more than
That's
Kawhi
some real
and
potential. That's some real potential. Although Kyle Lowry is 33. The way he's taking those charges, man, the way he has to move that bigger body than usual, I don't know. I just don't believe
them. He got that ass to take those charges. Don't worry about him.
he's in the bubble,
That-
protective bubble.
That's just bounces back up. Oops, another charge. That's why I'm saying 1 + 1, because
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah,
you
people say that.
yeah, I heard many people say that as well. You just take it one more time for a spin, and if you win again, which is seems unlikely, but why not? Because it seemed unlikely this year too, right? And now Warriors are sort of in limbo. You don't really know what's happening with Lakers. Whatever. You got a fighting chance.
You don't care about Western Conference. Whoever comes out of there, you have a chance, but they will go through. Usually, those teams they get kind of tired and depleted just a little bit, going through all that bloodbath that's going on out there. Obviously, Eastern Conference is getting better. Milwaukee's gonna get better. Philly,
But
I don't know,
will they,
maybe
though?
not.
Will Milwaukee get better? I mean, you would think that Giannis improves.
Well, yeah, you're basing everything on Giannis. I guess. Yeah, they
Maybe.
proved some flaws. Like,
But if Middleton leaves because he's a free agent, if they don't bring back Brook Lopez, who is a free agent, and he played for like pennies on a dollar there, so it's maybe Brogdon.
yeah, you
leaves too.
cannot really say that. And Bledsoe sucks, man.
So if
In the
it's
playoffs,
just
you cannot trust
Bledsoe
him.
and Giannis, I wouldn't be too surprised if Giannis demands for a trade in a year or so.
Shit, man. That would be just. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. That would be depressing. I mean, he's so. Milwaukee. There's nothing good happening in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Cold as fuck. All of a sudden, you get this guy who actually likes to be there. Everybody's laughing at Milwaukee being like a weird place to live and just play, be a professional athlete.
If you like cheese.
Cheese, they got good beer, so All good for the players. All good for the athletes. Yeah, so that would be crazy if he would demand something like that. Although I doubt it, but who knows. So anyway, Toronto, very unlikely team. You know, people talk about them being the most unlikely team to win the championship ever. More unlikely than the Pistons. What would you say? You know, where would you rank them? I mean, some unlikely teams. Somebody mentioned 2006 Heat, which I completely disagree. Although I was pretty young back then, but I really felt like they can win a championship.
Wasn't it Rosillo who brought them up?
I think it's BS.
Okay, might be, yeah.
But
Yes.
Dallas 2011 was pretty unlikely. Pistons 2004 pretty unlikely. Besides that, I mean,
I don't know. Pistons was to me a very weird team, but I see the similarity with the Pistons back then and this year's Raptors in a way that everyone meshed and everyone knew their roles, and there weren't seem to be much fuss like in terms of people complaining about their roles or whatever. Ben Wallace was scoring like 4 points per game, and he was happy
Max.
because he was just manning the paint.
yeah.
Sheed was a cold motherfucker. He played in Air Force Ones. Who does that, man? It's heavy as fuck. How can he jump at those? And I imagine his feet is like, I don't know, size 15 or whatever. Anyway, Sheed was good. Tayshaun Prince was a ultimate role player, like Iggy type of role. No?
Maybe
Not a playmaker as much, but
just a silent guy who will do whatever it
yeah.
takes.
Well, more of a Danny Green type of
Yeah.
dude. Kawhi got to be Rip Hamilton because of the dreadlocks, cornrows, and
Yeah, Rip was so good.
hey, but come to think of it, you can even like Chauncey is Lowry, whatever, close enough. Rip Hamilton is
Not really,
Kawhi.
whatever.
Danny Green is Tayshaun Prince, and Sheed is Siakam, and Ibaka is Ibaka. Come on, man. Ibaka.
I'm not gonna agree with this.
Marc Gasol, Ibaka, and whoever else you got combined is Ben Wallace. Yeah,
You will need to redistribute some skills and overcompensate some other comparisons. So maybe yes, then you can.
but Pistons
draw-
didn't have Kawhi.
Yeah, Pistons were weird. They did not have go-to guy. I mean, Billups obviously then became one, and after that, he became like, to me, he was one of my favorite point guards at that time.
Is he a Hall of Famer? I think I've asked you this before, but I forgot or tried to block out the
Yeah,
incorrect
we
answer.
drifted off from this. I think last time we spoke about this.
No. Last
2
time
pods
we
ago?
spoke about Iguodala being
Yeah,
and-
but maybe we brought... Well, whatever.
No, you said is Lou Williams of Hall of Fame.
I don't know, man. I would like to put him in there. You know, Billups was good.
He's not a Hall of Famer like now, though, is he? Or
No.
we
he's
aren't
not. No.
questioning him being in the Hall of Fame.
No, he's not. I don't know when did he retire? Is he eligible even? Just
I
yet?
would think so. It's 7 years after the retirement, I think. So,
So yeah,
definitely
maybe.
retired before.
No, I don't know. I
2012.
think he played in 2013
What? For?
with the Knicks. Hasn't he?
He definitely played for Clippers. I think he retired with the Clippers.
Oh shit! Really?
He got an injury or something and couldn't play anymore, and then just called it quits. If I recollect this correctly.
Okay,
know.
well, whatever,
Anyway, but
man.
yeah.
I would call him a Hall of Famer. I think he had a lot of potential. I don't know. Ever since that 2004 Finals MVP, he just rose up in front of my eyes, and he was Mr. Big Shot. He was making big shots, good plays. Just never got granted with that another title anymore. But he could have been, man. He could have been a champion and Finals MVP again.
I think the advanced stats would have something else to say about him being Mr. Big Shot, but I'm not sure.
Look, you're a big shot maker to me if you make at least a few big shots in your career.
Yeah,
Because there are players like Curry, for example, you will never call him a Mr. Big Shot.
because he takes care of business in the third quarter before fourth even starts usually.
I'm not even talking about regular season, but you know that stat that was shown, he's missing that one big step towards Michael or even LeBron.
Man, he had a perfect, well, can't even say perfect setting.
So let's talk about that game really, because
Yeah. Because Steph had the setting for the ages to like immortalize himself.
yeah, he doesn't even need to win a title. But just that game with that shot, with the stakes and everything,
But-
the way it turned out to be.
Sure, but if he, let's say, pulls Warriors to Game 7, scores from 3 back there, and they still win, it probably would depend in which fashion they would lose. I mean, to the Raptors, people would sort of forget about the shot because nobody cares because they still didn't win. But if somehow he makes that shot with everybody being down and injured, and Game 7 in Toronto, if it's it's one of this Steph being out of his mind games, scoring 55, making those threes from half court.
Man, now you're entering fantasy land. They're not winning without Clay.
Yeah.
He did pretty much what you said in Game 3, and that
Hey, but-
wasn't enough.
Remember we spoke about this Game 6, what needs to happen and things like that, and we said that everything needs to go almost perfect for Golden State. It obviously didn't. Just
Yeah, it
with
all
Clay,
went pretty much the opposite way.
right, but Iggy played perfectly.
22 motherfucking points, man. Andre Iguodala,
Iggy, one of
9 from 15,
my favorites.
60% field goal percentage. Okay, alley-oops and stuff, but he did shoot over Kawhi. He did make some threes. I mean, the guy made some big motherfucking shots. This guy is so incredible. I mean, sure, struggles, misses free throws, misses a ton of shots. He's wide open for a reason. We all know that, but still, man, stepped up big time this way with Clay going down, and let's talk about that maybe. I mean, Draymond Green, triple-double with 19 rebounds and 13 assists. I mean, stuffing a stat sheet with 3 steals, 2 blocks. Incredible, incredible game. You know, Kawhi
Draymond's
Looney,
insane.
again, plays, starts. He plays despite the injuries and all that. DeMarcus Cousins stepped up with 12 points. So they had going, and Steph was kind of struggling. Really wasn't playing his awesome game, but he was, you know, backing up Clay with scoring, and Clay was the typical Game 6 Clay. The crowd is chanting Game 6 Clay when he's shooting free throws. He was perfect from the free throw line. He was taking some awesome shots, some tough shots. That fast break three-pointer that he made.
It's ridiculous.
When he made that, you're like, oh my God, okay, he's back. This is that Game 6 mode where he's at.
And of course,
They
he's
can
gonna
take
try to dunk that.
And so symbolical, right? I mean, throughout those whole season, I had so much fun watching Clay dunking it and just being so excited like a kid. He was, you know, doing that rooftop
Yeah.
signal when he was dunking on everybody.
He
He had like, 3 or 4 dunks in one game, which is like a record to him.
Yeah, but now that you brought this up, he didn't used to do it all the time, like
No.
showing off, showboating, whatever. Now he does it pretty often.
And it's awesome. You know, it's so genuine. The guy
Yeah,
looks super
Because
excited.
he's this clumsy weirdo, and
Yeah.
it's funny to see him do this type of stuff.
Yeah, he's like a child in a candy store out there.
Because he's clumsy, but he's probably the hardest motherfucker in the NBA. He would play with a broken leg if you know the doctors would let him. And he has no nervousness in him. Game 6 Clay, you would think that, oh man, it's game 6, now I have to step up. It's, I think that's going on right now.
Yeah.
He just goes out there, shoots those ridiculous shots, scores everything. It's devastating to see him go down like this.
As far as being toughest in the NBA right now, he's got to be top 5. I mean, I guess I would put Lillard there. Maybe LeBron. You got to put LeBron there. I mean, there were some stories where he has rolled his ankle and still played because he just got no choice.
About LeBron.
But yeah, LeBron likes to make excuses, so maybe not the best example, but like this stone cold, like, those silent types where they just that's a quote from Sopranos, the strong silent type, Gary Cooper.
What's up with Soprano quotes?
It's fucking the best show ever, man. Better watch it. So, yeah, like, I don't even know besides him and Lillard who are just like that, strong silent types. Definitely one of the toughest dudes out there. So he's dunking all over the place this season. And, of course, he's trying to do that in this game. Try to make... I mean, they were on the push, right? That was like a big turn of events. They were kind of on the roll.
Yeah.
And he's getting free. He's going to the basket. Danny Green's following him behind. Cracks him behind the head. Not intentionally or anything. But he tries to dunk. He misses it. He's just a bit too far to really dunk it with two hands. He holds on the rim, which is never good. Just a little bit. So lands that makes him to land a bit funny, which happens. But as he landed, I mean, it was obvious. I thought that maybe it's meniscus or something like that, but it was obvious that it's serious. The way he winced, the way he screamed and grabbed his leg, I mean, he was, I wouldn't say excruciating pain, but goddamn it, it's Clay. He doesn't show a lot of pain signs. And yeah, he's struggling to get up. He's struggling to walk. He's walking away. He's limping away from the arena finally. I mean, everybody's in shock. I'm in shock. I'm just standing over with, my hands on my face.
Were you really
in disbelief.
standing? Because I missed it.
I was standing, yeah.
You stood up for that.
Steph was sitting. I was standing. Steph is in disbelief too. I mean, it's like, God damn it. Once again, we're fucked in this. And then they told him, yo, man, if you're leaving, there has been a foul. We have to make free throws. So if you don't shoot those free throws, you cannot get back to the game. So he gets back to the game and made those free throws, man. No problem. Actually stayed in the game. Looked all right. Didn't want to go back to the locker
didn't
room.
look. I will disagree with you there
Sure.
because he
Okay,
limped back to defense, and Draymond was showing him where to stand.
But he was trying to walk it off, and it seems like he was having success with it. And then he's got to go. His father joins him in the locker room. He jumps around. I mean, that's according to Doris Burke. He jumps around. He tries to walk it off, tries to, make movements with his leg. His father asks him whether something popped. He said, no, nothing popped. I'm feeling good. Give me a couple of minutes. I'll be back. And then he's on the crutches. He's not coming back. And then we know that it's a torn ACL. God damn it.
And it's a good thing that he didn't play. Cause
thank God he didn't.
Yeah.
But how was he able to finish free throws?
Fuck Game 7, fuck NBA title if it means Clay has to suffer. Nobody needs to go through that. If he plays and ruptures it all together, or then it's a meniscus perhaps, and whatever. And how do you even, back to your point, how do you even play with something like that? It's fucking
This
insane.
is MMA fighter type of a fucking mentality and durability. I mean, sometimes you hear these stories, like Rafael dos Anjos comes to my mind when he fought Anthony Pettis. He beat the shit out of him. And that was the time when a lot of people got popped for steroids. So I thought, I'm a Pettis fan all the way through, and I could not believe, Pettis was supposed to be faster and this and that, and he got just completely annihilated by Dos Anjos. He was faster, he was more aggressive, he was more powerful. I thought, something's up, man. I thought, fuck, he's on steroids. I'm hoping he's going to get popped. And everybody thought, gee, just please don't pop for steroids. Everybody were in disbelief how of an ass whooping he delivered to Pettis. Not only he did not pop for steroids, apparently he had a torn ACL, and he fought through it, man. I could not believe this shit, and you know, none of the fighters will do that. I remember Derrick Rose when he was paralyzed by pain, and he could not do anything. You know, he was almost crying. That's how painful it is, and of course, you cannot walk, you cannot run and jump.
Yeah.
And Clay did all of that, and he wanted to come back. What a tough dude, but he's out for season. And now KD's out for season.
I heard December is the most optimistic deadline for Clay. At least in December. So it's the whole summer where he was rumored to be filming the Space Jam 2.
He's a freak.
Not sure about USA basketball and things like that. I mean, he was on the extended list, if I'm not mistaken. But now, obviously, that's not in question. So
okay.
He will miss everything up until December at least. But, if he comes back, I'm happy if he comes back after that. As long as he's fully recovered and everything's all right.
Yeah.
That
with
would
him,
be cool.
That's the thing. With him, you don't know. He's so mentally tough. He's almost too tough for his own good.
Because December is like what? You start in beginning of October, right? So it's 2 months.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit about NBA up until February.
2 months. So what? 16, 35 games, something like that. Not even half the season. That would be cool. I would take that.
I mean, Westbrook, he was pretty.
But Westbrook, remember we talked about this offline. Westbrook is a freak in this regard, because really, he breaks his elbow, and he plays like a month after. Who does that?
Yeah, but I agree with you. But I also said that I believe that Clay is like that as well, because he doesn't care. He's so low maintenance. He has shitty ankles, fucked up arms, not arms, hands, and popped fingers and stuff, and he doesn't care. He still plays through it, still is the killer.
It's funny how people experience pain, right? We would never know. Let's say something hurts for you, and I won't ever experience exactly the same pain. It's strange. And you never know.
They definitely have different pain tolerances, him and Westbrook. And so I guess Westbrook is another guy who's really, really fucking tough like that.
So you can't ever wave or cheer for a person experiencing pain, because you don't know what he's feeling, so fuck off.
Yeah. But if he can come back this early, I mean, it seems unrealistic, but shit.
But
maybe their season is saved a little bit.
It's not 2006 anymore. Too.
True,
So
true. I mean,
better
they can come
steroids
back. They can come back for sure quicker from this and heal up. But what do you think of this notion that we're just playing too many games here?
Oh, for sure. For sure, there's too many games.
Because the Warriors played... Again, that just proves how much of a freak LeBron is. But Warriors played, also an extraordinary number of playoff games in these past 5 years. 5 straight trips to the finals.
Yeah, somebody said it, 500 for Clay, Steph, Draymond.
And now they're falling apart. This is not a coincidence. They just cannot sustain this run.
Sure. But yeah.
I would really like it this to be narrowed down to 62 games or something like that.
Yeah.
Three games in your own conference and 2 in 2 games from the other conference. I think that would sum up to 62 games.
Right?
If I'm not mistaken.
So your conference is 15 games. So 15 times 3 is 45?
No, it would be 14 times 3. Because you're
14,
part of the 15.
Yeah. I can't count for shit. So 42. If 3 times everyone.
Oh, so that's 72 games. Okay. So maybe you just got to do 2 games each. Because I really think that you should actually get rid of this conference bullshit also. 1 from 16.
But 2 games each would be a bit too little. No?
At first, I guess,
2 games each, man. Bit too little.
but bigger gaps in between. No fucking back-to-back bullshit. And
Yeah.
start the playoffs earlier, but also the playoffs are a bit, with the wider gaps. You don't have any, like, goddamn conference finals were every other day.
So wait though. It's 29 and 29 again. No, it wouldn't be too little. It would be 54. No.
No, so it would be
And
shit,
58.
man, you cannot count for shit for sure.
Yeah. So 17 games there.
So in your own
29.
conference, you have 14 teams. You play them twice in a season, so
No, no,
that's 28 games. And
No.
then from the other conference, you play them twice as well, but there's 15, so there's 30. So it would sum up to 58. 58 games.
Oh, I thought just to do like play every single team, Eastern, Western Conference, whatever. Play one home, one away game, and that's it.
Yeah, so there's 29 opponents. You play them twice,
Yeah,
so that's 58
games.
Yeah.
That would be so cool, and
That would be so low, yeah.
you could stretch it out throughout the season, so there's no nights where it's like 8 games. And
Yeah, it
you
would be
can't
easier
watch
to keep
them
up
all
with
anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You would have like I don't know, 2 games or 3 games per whatever it amounts to per night, and that's it. And okay, fine, if you want to have like Christmas more games or Martin
Yeah.
Luther King's day, but not. Yeah, that'd be cool. And imagine how much more significance it would give to one single game. Because when it's 82 games, you sort of can chill and lose a couple here and there, and still Rockets comes to mind this season. At the beginning of the season, they were shit.
Yep.
And they were losing games, and they were below 500 like 15 games in, and nobody cares because they still, well, they were 4th, right, at the end of the day, but it was like one last game that decided it, so they might easily be in the second team still.
Yeah, because now the teams, they're very, they really get used to getting in shape throughout the season. Obviously, that's not a good sign, but still, it is a possibility that, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to chill throughout the first, I'm not going to participate too much in the training camp and the preseason at all. Then I'm going to kind of chill at the beginning, and then I'll slowly get better as the season goes. Yeah, you would scratch that. You would have to come prepared. Everything matters way more.
Less load management.
It would be less needed load management. Because
Yeah.
now it is needed sometimes, especially when you're
Exactly.
nursing some sort of an injury, some sort of a strain. Of course, you don't want to play not only in the back-to-back, but you don't want to play, with 1 day's rest going into another game on the road, for example. I totally get it. I remember it was this beautiful stat. Not beautiful, it was kind of shitty, but it was true. It was with Derrick Rose when he came back in 2015. I don't know, did I tell you this already? Anyway, it was the stat, and it was especially emphasized when they were playing the Cavaliers in the second round, because the first game takes place, all right. You take 2 days of rest. The second game takes place, and then every other day you're playing. And everyone from the media were really concerned over Derrick Rose because it was significant difference. If he has like a 30-point game in 1 day, and he gets only 1 day's rest, the next day he's going to have like 12 points. If he has 2 days of rest, pretty much there is no dip. He can actually have a 31-point game. But if there's 1 day rest, he will always dip significantly. It was just obvious that he cannot, get back to the same shape after one grueling game, being at the state that he is, which was coming off an injury. Obviously, then he injured his meniscus, but still. It was really obvious that 1 day of gap. And for the older guys, that's the same thing. When you have a one good game, after a days of rest, you're going to be looking like an old-timer.
Like Godala, when you have one good game in the regular season, it takes you 2 years to have another one.
Exactly.
So yeah, we both agree, and nobody would lose apart from fans and owners, because owners wouldn't ever do it, because you get too much money from one game to do it, and
But in the era that we're at, where players really have a lot of power, I think that's where you use your power.
lock out.
Because yeah, I don't think that the fans lose in the end, man. I gotta say, I think that we lost right now as fans for losing KD, losing. We even laughed. Fuck, man, I jinxed this. But I was really surprised throughout the season that we didn't lose many bodies. You know, we lost John Wall, and then Nurkic really hit me like, okay, you know, we lost Nurkic, but he's not really a star. Who really we lost like a star? Okay, it was John Wall, but that was it. Usually you have like marquee matchup players. You know, I remember, till this day, I remember when, 2009, when the Lakers were making the run back at the Celtics, and the Celtics lost KG. And it looked shitty, man. It was devastating. And every single year, something like that happens, like Derrick Rose, like
Jeremy Lin.
KD has been out before as well. So that's when you lose as a fan. You know, if it was properly managed, yeah, I have strong feelings over it. Of course, it's not going to happen because of the stats, because of the money, because of the way we're used to doing things. But they would really should overthink this, in my opinion.
Sure. What I meant that the fans would lose is like, imagine we are living not in Vilnius but in Portland, where you don't get where you don't have any other major leagues team. I think apart
In
from
Vilnius, we have like
soccer,
20.
maybe. Yeah, I said majors and I said sports. So imagine they take away like 15 games from you that you can go to. It's not 15, it's what, 13? Because you would play 29 games.
Some of them on the road, yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to 42.
So probably 12. I mean, I don't know. Is that much of a...
13.
Do you really have to go to all 40 games of the regular season? Look, those fans don't even give a shit. You've seen them. They eat pizza and they fucking sleep throughout the games.
Sure, some of them. But again, just like...
they don't have fan clubs, man. They don't care about the first 2 quarters. Fuck, probably don't care about third quarter either. Unless you're part of the Warriors, when they really put you on the feet, because they deliver their killer shot, and fourth quarter actually doesn't matter. But usually all these fans, they care about one quarter.
Talking about fans, what do you think about Oracle last game?
I don't know. I didn't have any strong feelings over it.
Right. Because I was watching,
I was just too upset.
Paying more attention to it because of the way they walked out. And it was, again, mixed combination of both old rich fucks standing there and doing nothing and looking lost in the stands, and and some of the legit fans chanting Warriors and stuff like that. I don't know.
Sucks for them.
Yeah,
they're losing a team, a heck of a team.
Toronto closed Oracle just like
Shit,
that.
man. And it happened, as we talked about, just like in the series against the Clippers. The same thing happened here. Last 5 games of the series. Last 5. So pretty much all the games of the series were won by a road team. And shit, man, that's really bad for Taco Bell, right? Because they were promoting this if a road team steals a game, you steal a taco, and shit, that happened 5 times. Fuck them.
Reports Taco Bell going bankrupt. How many Taco Bells are there in Toronto? Because almost half the country watched the game. Saw the numbers, right? Didn't you say that the ratings are gonna be shitty?
Shit, I wanted to look it up, but I couldn't. I did not remember to do.
15.9 million Canadians.
Just adjust that mic a little bit, yeah. Yep.
15.9 million Canadians watched the game, I think, out of 30. No, 19.5 maybe, something like that. Out of 37,
7, yeah.
37. So almost that.
Let me just take a look if there's any ratings
And in the
listed.
meantime, I wanted to ask you about Kendrick Perkins.
What about him?
I mean, I know there's probably like a politically correct term for that, but doesn't he sound retarded to you? No, really. I don't. No offense to retarded people or whatever. It's probably not a good thing to say, not a nice thing to say. So I apologize, but he really sounds like he would be, and I have not a slightest clue like why do people bring him on the shows and why he's up there. I mean, looking like he has something to say when he doesn't, with the ass voice and no insight, apart from riding LeBron's tail to the finals.
Where did you hear him? I don't know.
Low post, the jump after the finals interviews with all of the talking heads on FS1s and whatever. He's everywhere. And if you didn't pay attention to that, just listen to the man speak. I mean, it's fucked up. It's not good.
What do you think? He's not making legit points?
I don't know. I think he might have suffered an injury while playing or something.
Really? I did not notice that. I don't think you know how people sound when they're concussed or something. If that's what you're pointing out.
Man, I don't know maybe, but I'm picturing it. They would sound exactly like Perk.
I kind of like his style. He's like, a guy from the hood. Yeah. Like from the South or something. Seriously?
And then it's 3 minutes of this mumbling and some words were spoken, but no point was made. Nothing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I don't know, man. I disagree. I kind of like Kendrick Perkins, if I'm honest with you. I mean, Kevin Durant swears by him. Like, he's the funniest guy ever, and he enjoys his company the most.
He's weird.
And stories. Well,
likes
he is.
Laugh from.
But anyway, to answer to your question, I mean, yeah, the ratings took a dip. I mean, I'm not looking at the same ratings I did the last time, not the same table. I'm not sure how to bring it up.
Took a dip from what?
For some reason. From last year.
What?
Yeah. 4 less million people watched it. I don't know what exactly I'm looking here, but it shows an average average million of viewers. So an average, I mean, it doesn't show absolute average, but let's just go game by game, for example. Okay, 2018 actually took a dip from 2017, but even still, 2018 is in better shape. For example, Game 4 in 2018, 16.2 million viewers watched it on average. In 2019, it's 12.7, 12.8, pretty much.
Can it be that
I'm not sure what the average means, but
can it be the case that the numbers listed there are only for American television?
yes, US TV households. True.
So not it like excluding all of Canada.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, so what? Let's count the world then as well. I think it's obvious that it's going to take a dip. I mean, sure, in Canada people watched it, but everywhere else in the world, I think this is an indicator that people are less intrigued by the finals than because in 2017 it was it was reaching 20. Like Game 3 was 20 million watched it that game on average.
Wow.
Oh, okay. There are absolute averages. So absolute average for this year is 14.2. And last year it was 17.5. The year before it was 20.3. 2016 was again 20.3. And then it doesn't really reach 20s, but so yeah, still higher than what it was this year. So I don't know. Yeah, those were my feelings. So I guess
Probably
congrats.
because of Perk.
Jesus, man. Why you're shitting on Perk?
I'm just speaking the truth.
Well, anyway, this is over. It's depressing as hell. But congrats to the champs. They won fair and square. They deserve it. Kawhi's the man. Is he the best player in the NBA right now?
Still KD. To me. Just because he's
And
injured,
LeBron?
you can't. Oh, fuck LeBron. It's KD. It's KD.
But I mean, is LeBron above?
I
Kawhi.
have KD first, then I have Giannis and Kawhi, but probably Kawhi a bit up, just a notch, and then Giannis, and then Steph, and then LeBron.
Wow. Good one.
Wait, I forgot about Draymond. So it goes Draymond.
Okay, so let's talk about this AD stuff. I mean, let me just ask you this. Who won the trade, in your opinion? Because usually we say that, who got the best player won the trade.
I immediately thought about it. Like,
Yeah.
who did it? Who won the trade? And I don't have an answer. My answer is that I can't say right now because to me it's crucial what the Lakers, the whole context, what the Lakers is going to do with what Lakers are going to do with the amount of cap that they have left, and not as much what the Pelicans are gonna do with the fourth pick, because I think they might be trading it, might be dumping even Drew in combination with the fourth pick for something major. I don't know. But this in a vacuum, I think that probably the first thought was Lakers, maybe because if you get a chance to get AD, you get AD. But then it's like 7 years worth of pick management. It's fucked up. I don't know. What do you think? What say you?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence, but I'm leaning towards the Pelicans, man. I gotta say, I'm gonna root for the Pelicans this season for sure.
Why?
They have a sexy team.
Oh.
Zion with Holiday.
Didn't even draft Zion yet.
Yeah, okay, they will.
They should trade the first pick for LeBron.
Shit, man, they have first and fourth pick now. They're setting themselves good. Of course, they can trade, as you said, and they can make something more outrageous happening this season. But man, you know how I like Lonzo, and this is his year to prove himself. I don't know. I don't like Ingram, but people like you do, and so he's a good piece. And you combine him with Drew and Zion, and they have what's the guy from the Lakers?
Randall?
Julius Randle.
He's opting out.
Okay.
He opted out and he will be unrestricted free agent, so probably not coming back, because why would you if there's Zion there?
Yeah.
And they sort of play in a similar role.
Yeah, they kind of look similar to me.
Just Zion is like on drugs. Randall.
Sure, he's a freak of freaks, that's for sure. He's like Randall combined with LeBron or something, but yeah.
Okay.
What?
Randall. So you are saying Pelicans, huh? Interesting.
I like what they're doing, man. They couldn't handle this more perfectly.
Well, it's Griffin doing his thing, I think. But to me...
Getting Zion really helped, getting that first pick, but now they have fourth pick.
But it really helped for Lakers to get the fourth pick too, because I think maybe they don't do it otherwise.
That was a breaker.
And maybe they even don't do it if they don't have the first pick. So this is all very much draft lottery trade.
And shit, I forgot Josh Hart. They got Josh Hart, who's also all right piece.
Who's already posing with the Pelicans jersey, even though the soonest that they can make it official is July 6th. So it's I don't know.
So that's a good sign.
Yeah.
At least with the Pelicans jersey, not that's all folks jersey. So
But to me, what might have won the trade for Pelicans is not much the players, but rather the picks, the pick situation. And I say situation because it's so fucked up, 'cause it's even hard to follow. Because they get this year's pick, sure, that's easy. It's number 4th pick.
and they have their own all of their own picks, right?
Might have, yeah. I mean, who did they trade? Didn't really had to waste any of these for
So you
like
can combine
salary
them and
dumps.
trade them into higher picks or something. Because look,
To
man,
Boston.
those were
Trade
shitty
all
picks.
the picks to Boston. Yeah, so that is the thing. I mean, if you get to just acquire AD, you do it. But then again, if you can just salvage like picks, 7 years worth of picks from Lakers, who is one of the shittier organizations in the NBA these days, you do it as well.
Did you see that comparison that ever since 2014 season, the
The
Lakers and
Knicks.
the Knicks have identical
Yeah,
records?
it's a coincidence, I guess. Suns up there as well. Close second, third team. But anyway, AD is really, we all of us talked about AD as being this probably top 3 MVP guy and top 3 defensive player of the year
Sure.
kind of fella. And I don't see the reason why he can't play like this again. And he's 26 years of age. So you are not trading your future. And I think it might have been Kobe who said it, like when the whole drama was taking place around the All-Star break, something like that. He said like, hey, is Lonzo, Kuzma, and Ingram better than
AD?
better than the AD? No. So that's it. That's your answer.
Of course not.
And they get to keep Kuzma, which is cool for the Lakers.
Yeah, only later on it just registered with me that, wait, wasn't there other guy that was part of this, whole group? Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Kuzma.
Right.
Arguably the best player because Ingram was, inconsistent with some health issues.
Yeah.
Lonzo the
arguably.
same way.
Arguably,
Kuzma
yeah.
was awesome.
Because back when Magic was still around,
He's going to
with
have
the
a party
Lakers,
out there.
They said,
Wide open shots.
it's-
Sorry.
remember back when Magic was there around the trade deadline? It was reported that Lakers were offering the same package they did right now, plus one more pick, plus Kuzma, plus Zubats. So that's cool for the Lakers. And I guess the reason why they get to keep Kuzma is because this is the 4th pick.
Fourth pick, yeah. That's the breaker.
But again, on the other hand, you don't really have clearly cut 4th player in this pick. Apart
Who's
from
it
this
projected
Darius
to be?
Garland. It's Darius Garland, if I'm not mispronouncing.
I don't think so. I thought somebody else.
No,
fuck it. I'm not going to look it up.
It's Zion for sure. Then it's
Morant?
yeah, it's either him or
RJ?
RJ.
Barrett?
Yeah. So those 3 are set in stone almost. And then the 4th pick is Darius Garland. I think that's his last name.
Okay, you repeated this 3 times. I get it. I don't think he is. Whatever, man. I mean, it's a good pick. It's going to be... Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do now.
He's a point guard, though.
This
and they
draft is
already
going to be
have
interesting
Drew.
now. He's a point guard?
Yeah. It's Russillo's guy. Russillo is always bringing him up, saying that's new Kyrie.
I don't know. I got to say, I never keep up with the... yeah, maybe I remember now.
Yeah. So that's the guy.
But I never keep it up with the draft. However, I do like everything that the Pelicans are doing with the picks that they have. Yeah, as you said, they have some options. And I really believe that Zion is going to attract somebody there to play alongside with him. I don't know. AD, I just never bought into his hype. And Zion, he's already, a moneymaker there. There's a lot of hype around him this time for sure, like it never was for AD. So, of course, he's not there officially, but I don't think they're going to pick anyone else.
But don't you agree though that AD is like best power forward in the game?
He's got to prove it to, not to me, but just to himself and to everyone.
But who do you have as a better power forward in the NBA?
I mean, I don't know who's a forward. I mean, is
Okay,
Jokic a
big.
forward?
Okay, big. So is Jokic and Embiid definitely better than AD?
I wouldn't say definitely, but I don't think you can say that to me that AD is definitely better. He just hasn't proved himself. He hasn't consistently stayed healthy.
Well,
They made it to the playoffs this one time.
I
You know,
guess.
if I have to make a bet, I would definitely bet on AD. But I don't know if he's gonna, be satisfied out there and play to his highest potential. Because I only got to see him playing to his potential that last year.
I see. But I think though that he's a good match with LeBron.
Of
'cause
course he is. I mean, that is.
he's a way
Fuck,
better
man.
version of Chris Bosh, and
He's like Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade combined.
and better than Kevin Love, I would
Yeah.
say. So he's probably the
He's got a decent shot, right?
yeah. I almost called him the best player LeBron ever played for, but then I remembered Stulgauskas.
Yeah, that's a bit scary. I mean, the way he's going to deliver passes to AD, shit.
And if Kyrie goes there, it's definitely interesting.
There's a lot of speculation, right, that he might. Although it seems like Kemba is the heavier favorite to go there.
Well, Kemba, I think people just linking Kemba with Lakers now because he's like sort of one of the only point guards left, and I don't know. I think Kemba would work better than Jimmy Butler, let's say. And I think Jimmy is sticking with Sixers anyway. To me, if you can't get Kyrie Irving, you don't get the third max player at all, and you just get a decent point guard and have Caruso as a backup, and try to fill the team with serviceable, good role players. Like
Yeah, they're going to do a lot of signings again, right? Because are they going to keep somebody like Rondo? Are they going to keep somebody like Stevens?
I don't know, but you have to make
Stevenson?
somebody. If you get to keep Rondo, because Rondo is cool. Rondo is veteran presence. If he buys into the whole thing, if he wants to stay there, if there are no antics, you can keep Rondo. And as a third guy, as a third option, you will get Kuzma, so that's cool because he can be a good scorer, and you don't have to waste money on the third max contract now, because then you wouldn't have anyone, any money, any assets to acquire people to fill the rest of the roster. So you're not playing three main guys and then just some scrubs from G League.
Man, their team sucks. Looks
Yeah.
like shit. I mean,
Are you looking at the roster right now? So
Yeah.
Mo Wagner, Caruso,
Isaac Bonga and
Isaac
Reggie
Bonga
Bullock,
and Bullock. I don't-
KCP. Fuck, man.
Oh,
how he's
KCP
still with the
stays.
team.
KCP definitely stays, I think. Because you need some shooting.
Yeah, that's why Jerebko stays with
You
the
need-
Warriors, because you need some shooting, man.
You need some shooting. You need some veteran leadership on the team. So KCP definitely is there.
Well, still, LeBron and AD, that will be a lot of fun. But yes, they have a lot of work to do. Pick up some guys, saving some guys, I guess. I don't know, man. And yeah, they need that big point guard.
Would you pick up third max player, or would you split the salary for like Danny Green types?
I would actually like to split it up. I mean, you
Yeah.
got two awesome awesome players, top
Sure.
5 players. I mean, not to you.
Top five, top five.
No, well, AD has to prove himself, but we all know that he, like 2 years ago, he's pretty much a second best player, if not, well, maybe third in the league. He was looking just so dominant. He did everything. He was also passing real nice.
This is insane. I don't know why you keep saying that he needs to prove himself.
It's just because I hate the situation
and you
more
hate
than
AD.
anything.
But man, he's an all NBA, definitely all NBA, top 3 MVP type of guy, and he's major player on defensive end as well. So to me, and he's Lakers' future. They didn't fine. They screwed up their drafting for the next for 7 years. It was reported because Pelicans get to switch if they don't like. They get to swap picks. They get to delay this for another year if they don't like the pick and shit like that. So they will essentially be drafting for 2 teams, themselves and the Lakers, for the next like 5 years. But AD is 26, so. And AD wanted to go to Lakers, so after next year he probably resigns there.
So what, like 5
Resigns
years,
there.
right? 5 years max
Right.
contract.
So this year and then maybe another 5 years if
That's
he
a perfect
resigns.
gap.
That's like 6 years of he's right now probably just hitting his prime.
For sure. I mean, for centers, really, when is their prime? Really, it's around 30s. I mean, he's not a center. And he's
Oh,
actually kind of like a wing player because he likes to move the ball and shoot.
so let's just call him a point guard and call it a day.
But still, his prime is going to be just yet. I mean, around 28, it's every player's prime. So he's not there yet.
Yeah.
So they are going to give him a max at the perfect point. That is when you're supposed to give maxes. Not to Chris Paul.
Not to Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. By the time when they're 36, they're making 40 or what, $50 million?
Not to LeBron then.
Brown is obviously the exception. But
Sure.
But yeah, for AD, and for the Lakers, it's a perfect match because this is the best time to get him, and now they can make some stuff work. I mean,
And it's Hollywood.
it's scary.
So Lakers have the money.
Sure.
And you need big names to play for the Lakers. Because if it's just one guy, it works with Kobe. But Kobe had a good supporting cast, and they won.
Yeah, so that's what you need now because now you have 2 awesome players. To any series you go, you have a lot of confidence. You know, AD is probably the guy, but you know LeBron as a backup. I mean, Jesus, that's crazy even to say. A lot of people still would consider LeBron to be the best player in the league, and who knows? Maybe with a proper backup, he can still be that way. I mean, I don't know if he really slipped last season. Just he got a bit injured, and he played with the shitty ass team.
Yeah, his averages were still 28,
Still
7,
awesome,
7,
yeah.
8.
And now he's so rested. He didn't play for the rest of the postseason.
He will be tired from all that filming. Somebody on Reddit I saw
Recruiting and all that
commented,
shit.
like, imagine if Pelicans use one of the picks to draft LeBron's son.
That's good.
That would be nice.
So yeah, maybe going with a few backups and spread that max money to some role players would be the way to go, because they have Kuzma already, but they don't have a point guard. It's tough, man. Rondo as a starting point guard
Excuse me.
for the
But-
playoffs, maybe.
Yeah, just like I told you before, when we were watching Raptors play the Warriors, I said that it's fucked up. It's difficult to have top heavy team, and obviously I said it in the aftermath of what happened, 2 gruesome injuries to the players on Warriors end. But if you have more evenly spread out team, you don't feel the like one player's absence that much. Imagine if you took out Lowry from Raptors,
Yeah.
for a game. Hardly anyone would notice. No, of course they would, but you just throw out one bleed there, other people step up, and that's it. And the key part is that there are some people who can step in. Now, obviously, it took 2 injuries, and Boogie, like 80%, or what's his percentage of himself that he played, but still.
Not very high.
Right. So, other than the big four in the Warriors and Boogie, you have Iguodala, of course, who's cool, and Livingston did nothing really,
No.
apart from a few
You need those
key
players.
plays. But yeah,
I guess,
Jerebko.
it's when you have where you're so top heavy, even when you lose somebody,
One
it's
guy,
not a
right?
problem. But yeah, if it's a one guy, if it's a couple, then it becomes tricky. But I think it would become tricky for any team. Could you imagine if they would, like, Raptors would lose Larry? Okay, but then Siakam? Do you think
If
then?
they lost Siakam, they just plug in Ibaka into the starting five as the power forward. Gasol and Ibaka plays a little bit more. You a bit adjust the game plan, and I think that works.
But that's what the Warriors did as well on Iggy. However, then he plays more than he should, and then you cannot really trust him that much. Then he struggles more. Then he
if Warriors is
becomes tricky.
the juggernaut of a team, and nobody is as stacked as them in terms of the top load, because it's like 4 all NBA type of guys, and Boogie coming out of the injury, and Iguodala for the playoffs. You would take him on any team,
Yeah.
but other than that, it's McKinney, Jordan Bell. Well, Looney was alright, so it wasn't like they were pathetic, but just losing KD and Clay and Iggy for a bit. Well,
Yeah, like a game. But still, they lost Looney.
and
I mean, there
Looney,
were a
yeah,
lot of
so
injuries, man. I don't know. I mean,
just
look
so
what we're
many
talking about.
injuries.
KD is probably their best player, so take anybody's best player. They will be in trouble. But Warriors were not. Warriors were still looking good.
Yeah,
They swept the
they
fucking
swept
Blazers.
the Blazers in the Western Conference Finals. That's the thing.
That's still, I don't,
But
yes, they top heavy, but shit, man. Even when things get rough, they can deliver. So it's just smart management, I guess that's what you need. And you need to trust in those guys, so then when it's time for them to step up, like Quinn Cook, fuck, man, no problem. Although he did kind of struggle in Game 6, I think. Already shut the box score, but anyway, we don't really need to look at that.
I'm not shitting on the Warriors bench. I mean, those are
Sure, but a lot of people are.
good guys. But some of the dudes don't even know who they are.
Yeah. And
But-
even again, props to Steve Kerr. He trusts those guys. He plays them, not afraid
Yeah,
to
like
give some
Jerebko.
minutes.
When he threw Jerebko in there after
Man.
not playing 2 games, that was ballsy.
Yeah, he likes to do those moves. And sometimes they pay off. Really often they pay off, and sometimes they don't, like Jordan Bell. Man, like Sean Livingston when he got that foul on Van Vliet.
I don't remember who brought it up, but somebody said that if you have Harrison Barnes on this roster, Warriors win, and I probably agree.
I would too. They were badly missing that one extra guy to
One
make that
extra
shot.
guy, yeah. One guy short.
Yeah.
David West. If you not a one guy, but if you still have David West and like still have McCaw and
Yeah. I
what-
thought McCall was a huge loss.
what was that other dude who's now playing for the Pelicans?
Ian Clark.
Yeah, Ian Clark. If you have
That guy was amazing. from
West,
three.
Ian Clark, and McCaw, you don't need Barnes. And even with all the injuries, I still think
True.
they win.
Yeah, they just did not have those type of players anymore that can make those shots. Because McKinney was, man, sometimes he swishes it, sometimes he just fucking airballs it. So anyway, man, I guess we tapped everything. The Raptors are the champs. Good for them. The season's over. Bad for us. Now all we get to talk about is Bellator and UFC. But it's going to be the draft.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think we can run this by Wednesday?
Maybe.
Run this back and talk about the draft a little bit? And I have a topic in mind, actually.
Yeah?
Draft class of 2017. Because I have this notion that, that first season, wait until the next one when the teams are going to start game planning on you. So I would like to look at that draft class and see where the players are and who's the actual number one pick, for example, right now.
Donovan Mitchell, Tatum,
Yeah.
Fultz.
Tatum and Fultz. Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. Markelle Fultz. And who else is... Well, anyway, we can touch on that the next time around because I think that would be something fun to do coming into the draft. And then obviously look at the names and
Sure.
what can we gauge from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for listening. As usual, check us out everywhere. Give the ratings. Give your thoughts. I'm still missing some emails. So, as always, podcast.its@gmail.com. ITS for iThinkSports. So, yeah, feel free to let us know who would be your number 4 pick, for example, and whether the Pelicans should trade it in combination with Drew Holiday, like Al just proposed. And, check us out on YouTube. We're finally on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. So, all that good shit. As always, it's me, Double D, Buddy Al.
And hit that bell button.
Yeah, thanks for being here, man, and thanks for being here, guys. Enjoy the sports, as many of them have left to be enjoyed. Until the next time.